The matter is urgent, Lady Josephine.
I am well aware of that, revered mother.
We will need them to return to Val Royeaux as soon as possible. There are ceremonies, ordinations. Make us mercy.
That's quite impossible at the moment. However, I will see to this matter as soon as possible.
My Lady Inquisitor. Please, may I have a word with you?
Just when you've solved one crisis, another springs up to take its place.
I am sorry to place this burden on your shoulders, but you are the only one who can help. With the political turmoil put to rest, our minds turn to a single question. The next divine. We cannot answer it without the left and right hands of Divine Justinia V.
I have already told you, revered mother. Lady Leliana and Seeker Cassandra cannot be spared from their duties.
But surely with the support of the Empire, the Inquisition will not be harmed by the loss of just 2 souls.
Why do you need Leliana and Cassandra?
They were Her Holiness's most trusted advisors. They represent her legacy, her hopes for peace in Thedas. They could rally the Grand Clerics to follow as no candidate from the clergy has been able to.
I don't understand. What is it you're asking of them?
We need them to serve as candidates for the role of divine. Everyone with the political support to succeed Justinia perished alongside her. Those who remain are unable to gather the majority of votes from the conclave of Grand Clerics. They have been deadlocked for too long. Lady Leliana and Seeker Cassandra were Justinia's most trusted friends and advisors. Our late divine is still held in high esteem. To honor her, the Grand Clerics might support one of them as successor.
How long does the chantry need them?
Several months, at least. If one of them is crowned divine, she would not be returning to the Inquisition.
These aren't just any 2 people. They're key members of the Inquisition.
For the sake of Thedas, we must ask you to make this sacrifice.
This will have to be settled later. The Inquisitor has only just returned and has important business to attend to. You must excuse us, revered mother. Don't let them detract from your victory at Alam-Shiral. Now that the political situation has stabilized, we can devote more Inquisition resources to pursuing Corypheus. I would talk to Hawke. Soon.
I'd be perfectly happy never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing, I know what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
At least there was dancing.
Or an attempt at it, anyway.
I thought you did well.
Well, I'm grateful for your poor taste in dance partners.
Do you have some time?
Is there something on your mind?
I was hoping we could spend some time together.
I would like that. The smugglers we interrogated gave up the Red Templars' main source of red lyrium, Inquisitor. It's located in the Dales, near a town called Sarnia. Destroying the mine there will cripple Samson's operations.
Excellent work, Commander. I'll investigate the mine.
Destroying the Red Templars' source of lyrium will be a loss Samson won't soon forget.
Inquisitor.
Scout Harding.
We're on the outskirts of Sarnia. This is what's left of the town. The lucky ones got out before the river froze over. The rest, penned in by Fade Rifts and Red Templars. We're the first friendly face they've seen in a long, long while.
How did an entire river freeze so quickly?
It got really cold, really quickly. Sarnia relies on its river for everything. Trade, food. They weren't expecting this.
Here I come to save the day. Again.
That's why we love you. The Red Templars have been mounting frequent attacks. They want Emprise de Lyon. Bad. Let's get out there and take it back from them.
I've been reading the letters found in the quarry. Samson is making red lyrium from people?
Not anymore. Not in that mine.
I knew Samson had fallen, but this... it's monstrous. We have to put an end to him. Look at these orders from the encampment. That armor must give Samson extraordinary power. We may not be able to stop him.
Take away his armor and the lyrium, and Samson's just another man.
I couldn't say how. Templars are trained not to destroy expensive magical equipment. Perhaps Dagna has some ideas. She crafts the impossible every day. No red lyrium, no allies, and soon Samson will have no armor, I hope.
You hope?
Dagna's started work on her red lyrium samples, but she needs more details on the armor. We found orders in the mine. They mention Maddox, a name I did not expect to hear.
Samson's letter said something about taking over as the vessel.
Perhaps it's a rank among the Red Templars. It could be a title from ancient Tevinter. Or it's some other role Corypheus has planned for Samson, and Maddox is part of it.
Did he serve with you and Samson in Kirkwall?
Maddox was a mage in Kirkwall's circle. Samson smuggled letters between him and his sweetheart. Eventually, Samson was caught. That's why he was cast out of the Order. Maddox was made tranquil and became a skilled craftsman of magical items. Samson must have rescued him.
I can't believe they made a man tranquil over a few love letters.
The official charge was corrupting the moral integrity of a Templar. Knight Commander Meredith wielded the brand for far lesser offenses, believe me.
Why would Maddox need saving?
When the mages rebelled in Kirkwall, the worst battles took place at the gallows in the circle itself. I thought Maddox had died in the fighting, or was eking out a living on the streets. A hard fate for a tranquil in Kirkwall. Samson must have found him, taken him in.
Having an inside man among Samson's forces would be invaluable, if we could convince him.
I couldn't say. I've lived around Tranquil most of my life, and I've never understood them. It seems Maddox built Samson's armor for him, and maintains it still. Tranquil and Kirkwall needed rare and expensive supplies for their enchantments. Supplies we can trace. I can have our men kick down some doors, Inquisitor. Samson's armor might lead us right to his stronghold.
So it's true. Some look to Cassandra or even me as Justinia's successor. I never thought the idea would gain momentum. Of course, with the other candidates out of the picture...
Is becoming divine something you really want?
When Justinia was alive, I would have laughed at anyone who even suggested that I could be her successor. Things have changed. Still, I don't know. Restoring the chantry will be like trying to steer a sinking vessel through a storm.
No one would fault you for abandoning ship, you know.
Out of the ship, and straight into the sea. You think Thedas hates mages now? If the chantry falls, don't you think the people will blame magic? Look at all that's happened. Kirkwall's chantry, the war, the breach. Mages are always involved. Without the chantry to guide, that hatred will spiral out of control.
Wow. You really don't think highly of the Dosians.
The people care only for simple things. Their world is small, and everything beyond it is unknown and something to fear. They will continue to live like this, unless they can be shown another way. But this is a discussion for later.
If Corypheus wins, finding a new divine will be the least of our problems.
You asked for my opinion, and I've given it. Why would you expect it to change?
I expect you to keep your word. It's relentless. I can't...
You give yourself too little credit.
If I'm unable to fulfill what vows I kept, then nothing good has come of this. Would you rather save face than admit... Forgive me.
And people say I'm stubborn. This is ridiculous. Cullen told you that he's no longer taking lyrium?
It seemed very important to him.
It's not a decision to be made lightly. But now, Cullen has asked that I recommend a replacement for him. I refused. It's not necessary. Besides, it would destroy him. He's come so far.
Why didn't he come to me?
We had an agreement long before you joined us. As a Seeker, I could evaluate the dangers. And he wouldn't want to risk your disappointment.
Cassandra, did you refuse Cullen's request because he's wrong, or because you want him to be wrong?
Mages have made their suffering known, but Templars never have. They are bound to the Order, mind and soul, with someone always holding their lyrium leash. Cullen has a chance to break that leash, to prove to himself, and anyone who would follow suit, that it's possible. He can do this. I knew that when we met in Kirkwall. Talk to him. Decide if now is the time.
Maker's breath. I didn't hear you enter. Forgive me.
So long as you weren't aiming at me, I'm sure the box had it coming.
I swear, I didn't know you were... I never meant for this to interfere.
I believe you.
But whatever good it does, promises me nothing if I cannot keep them. You asked what happened to Ferelden's Circle. It was taken over by abominations. The Templars, my friends, were slaughtered. I was tortured. They tried to break my mind, and I... How can you be the same person after that? Still, I wanted to serve. They sent me to Kirkwall. I trusted my Knight Commander, and for what? Her fear of mages ended in madness. Kirkwall's Circle fell. Innocent people died in the streets. Can't you see why I want nothing to do with that life?
With everything that's happened, you've picked a bad time to start over.
I should have seen that. I thought this would be better. That I would regain some control over my life, but these thoughts won't leave me. How many lives depend on our success? I swore myself to this cause. I will not give less to the Inquisition than I did to Chantry. I should be taking it. I should be taking it.
This doesn't have to be about the Inquisition. Is this what you want?
No. But these memories have always haunted me. If they become worse, if I cannot endure this...
You can.
All right.
Will you not consider it, Lady Cassandra? The clerics are still sequestered. If no one steps forward, they will debate until...
And you think I could make them agree? I've heard enough for one day, Mother Giselle.
Talk to her, your worship.
The fun never ends in Skyhold, does it?
The Inquisitor was hilarious. That's what they'll say one day, you watch. I assume you've heard that Leliana and I are both candidates to be the next divine. Because of what happened at Halam Shiral, of course, the Empire favors you. Thus everyone close to you. So now the chantry bandies our names about without even asking us first.
How can you and Leliana be candidates? You're not even priests.
It's not without precedent. Amar III was sister to the Emperor, and Galatea a commoner. Leliana and I were, at least, part of the chantry hierarchy. It would be accepted.
Why even consider it? Who cares about the chantry?
I care. Surely it was never meant to be like this. The chantry, the circle of magi, the Templars, this cannot be what they intended when it all began. The chantry should provide faith, hope. Instead, it cannot veer from its course, even in the face of certain death.
I'm surprised to hear you of all people say that.
Oh? Am I not the same woman who declared the Inquisition against the chantry's wishes? In all my years as a seeker, I did what I was told. My faith demanded it. But now my faith demands something else. That I see with better eyes.
The chantry has failed, Cassandra.
I wonder if the legions of faithful throughout Thedas would agree with you. Did you know Varric is Andrastian? Oh, he blasphemes with every second breath, but deep down he believes. His heart is virtuous. But he would never step foot in a chantry. It should be the first place to which the virtuous turn. It needs to change. Perhaps I must be the one to change it.
What would you change about the chantry?
The Circle of Magi has its place, but it needs reform. Let the mages govern themselves with our help. Let the Templars stand not as the jailers of mages, but as protectors of the innocent. We must be vigilant, but we must also be compassionate to all peoples of Thedas, human or no. That is what I would change.
You're not the only candidate. What about Leliana?
Leliana says she wishes to follow Justinia's legacy, but she and I remember a different person. Justinia knew her fellow clerics and the people would only accept so much change. Leliana would cast it all aside and start over, I think, and that would be chaos for us all.
Perhaps the chantry needs more than just change.
You mean get rid of it entirely? I disagree. Without the chantry, the faithful would be lost. The chantry must simply be more responsible in how it leads. I suppose I should not be so concerned. The clerics speak my name for now, nothing more. For now, restoring order and stopping Corypheus remain our priority.
I wanted to thank you. When you came to see me, if there's anything... This sounded much better in my head.
I trust you're feeling better?
Yes.
Is it always that bad?
The pain comes and goes. Sometimes I feel as if I'm back there. I should not have pushed myself so far that day.
Skyhold won't fall apart if you take an hour for yourself now and then.
I'll keep that in mind. I've never told anyone what truly happened to me at Ferelden's Circle. I was... not myself after that. I was angry. For years, that anger blinded me. I'm not proud of the man that made me. The way I saw mages, I'm not sure I would have cared about you. The thought of that sickens me. Now I can put some distance between myself and everything that happened. It's a start.
For what it's worth, I like who you are now.
Even after...
Cullen, I care about you. You've done nothing to change that.
What about you? You have troubles of your own. How are you holding up?
I've met good people here. Knowing they have my back, it helps.
You certainly keep interesting company. I suppose I do as well.
May I ask you something?
Always.
You've mentioned siblings. With everything that's happening, do you know if they're all right?
I've received word from my eldest sister. She was always good at tracking me down. South Reach has experienced the same chaos as everywhere else. My family is fine. Pray they remain so.
Your sister tracked you down. She didn't know where you were.
I let her know I was in Haven. She assumed I survived. It's not the first time. I may have neglected to tell her when I was transferred to Kirkwall.
Why?
I wasn't in a good state. I wanted only to leave. I received an angry letter about my disappearance 2 years later. For all her reprimands, it was a relief to hear from someone who knew me before the Blight.
You still regret the man you became after leaving Ferelden?
After the Ferelden Circle, I thought all mages were like the ones there. Knight Commander Meredith's methods were harsh, but they kept people safe.
You said Meredith was unstable.
She was my Knight Commander. I had no reason to distrust her. She wasn't wrong about the Blood Mages in Kirkwall. Meredith encouraged my anger towards the mages. There was only so far I would go, and she knew that too. I was her second in command. She kept decisions from me, those I would question. I believed she was serving the city. I never thought to question her, not until it was too late.
I hope you find the Inquisition's leadership more agreeable.
Forgive my lack of professional decorum, but very much so. The Inquisition is my chance to atone. I will not see it fail.
Do you think Templars should cease to exist?
No. I may have chosen to leave that life, but I respect those who remain. Magic ungoverned could tear the world apart. It's doing so now. Templars are trained and able to confront such dangers.
What would you suggest?
Some call the Circle a prison that can only breed resentment. Perhaps opportunities to work outside the Circle. A mixed military service or healers' clinics with Templar support. And there must be a safer way for Templars to leave. Templars can lose their memories to Lyrium. Some call it a gift, to forget the failed harrowings, the demons. Some atrocities haunt me still. But to lose what good I can recall, I nearly lost my mind once. It is no gift.
Mages can take care of themselves. We don't need Templars.
Tell that to the parents of a child who falls prey to possession. Mages cannot handle such threats alone.
If you don't mind my asking, the hero of Ferelden was a Circle mage. Did you know her?
I attended her harrowing, actually. She was a lovely woman.
Lovely.
There was some youthful infatuation on my part. A feeling I had forsaken until recently.
You never acted on it?
She was one of my charges. Even if she felt the same, it would have been inappropriate. I saw her once after she became a warden. She freed the tower during the Blight. I would be dead or mad if not for her. I was in a sorry state when she found me. The things I said were unkind, untoward. I regret them now. I wish she knew that.
That's all I wanted to know.
Should you require anything, I'll be here.
Safe and solid, protecting and proud. He feels like quiet, stronger when you hold him.
I'll talk to you later.
Probably.
There you are.
Were you waiting for me?
Yes. I mean, no.
Oh, good. I've kept and not kept you waiting.
Let me start over.
By all means.
We have some dealings in Ferelden. I was hoping you might accompany me. When you can spare the time, of course.
Is something wrong?
What? No. I would rather explain there, if you wish to go.
I believe there's time now.
I will make the necessary arrangements.
Where are we?
You walk into danger every day. I wanted to take you away from that, if only for a moment. I grew up not far from here. This place was always quiet.
Did you come here often?
I loved my siblings, but they were very loud. I would come here to clear my head. Of course, they always found me eventually.
You were happy here?
I was. I still am.
Alone with a mage? That doesn't concern you?
The Templars have rules on fraternization, but I'm no longer bound by them.
Would it really have stopped you if we'd met before? You could say no, of course not.
It is hard to believe I wouldn't have noticed you. The last time I was here was the day I left for Templar training. My brother gave me this. It just happened to be in his pocket, but he said it was for luck. Templars are not supposed to carry such things. Our faith should see us through.
You broke the Order's rules. I'm shocked.
Until a year ago, I was very good at following them. Most of the time. This was the only thing I took from Ferelden that the Templars didn't give me. Humor me. We don't know what you'll face before the end. This can't hurt.
Keep it. I don't want your luck to run out.
Nor do I.